World of Tanks free to play. That's what obviously Wargaming advertises this title as. However, obviously, as many of you already know, this game is very far from being free to play. And in today's video, I'll be talking about the many different ways that Wargaming tries to either sink your credits, your experience, or hard-earned real-life money into this game, defeating the purpose and actual truth of it being free to play. Let's start off with one of the worst credit sinks and balancing factors in World of Tanks, which is premium ammunition. Right now, I'm in World of Tanks Blitz, and for those of you who aren't aware, I originally am coming from World of Tanks Blitz. And while Blitz definitely has its downsides compared to PC here and there, I can tell you the biggest advantage is the fact that premium ammo has downsides. For example, we can see loading standard AP shells on my WZ-132-1 deals 270 to 450 damage per shot. And look at this, loading gold, the damage per shot goes from 270 to 225, 450 out of max roll to 375. That is a very big difference in your damage, and it means that you actually get punished in certain ways for loading gold ammo. It is like that for every single tank in the game. Doesn't matter if you're pulling out a 4005 or an STB-1, all the tanks in the game are going to lose damage when you're loading gold. This actually creates a bit of a counter to loading premium versus standard ammo, because you're going to deal less damage, and sometimes maybe clearing an opponent might be more important to have standard ammo and aiming for a weak spot rather than loading gold. But in World of Tanks, all you do is load gold. My Char MLE, I have to load gold to 3-mark the tank, and in a sense it basically takes away a lot of the skill in my opinion. If everybody that is 3-marking this vehicle is only loading gold ammo, then it means a very large portion of the player base can't even afford to try and 3-mark a tank like this. Just about every game I would play in my Char MLE, even in a game where I would deal upwards of 4,000 to 5,000 damage, I would probably end up losing 100 to 80,000 credits a game, because I'm spending 100,000 credits a game on ammo, and it's absolutely painful. The fact that my premium ammo on a vehicle like the Char has better shell velocity and flat better pen with not a single disadvantage, it's just stupid. Gold ammo is by far one of the most pay-to-win aspects on World of Tanks. If you're not running a premium account and you're not conserving your shells, even in premium tanks. I mean, the Char MLE is a premium vehicle, but even then, you still don't make enough credits to counteract the negative of just premium ammo. But look at any skilled player. Look at a Chieftain FE21 player. Look at a Object 2790 player. I guarantee the majority of them are running at least 70 to 80% of their rounds as gold, and most of the game they're firing gold ammunition, and that's just how it is. Another thing that, in my opinion, is completely pay to win when it comes to World of Tanks is crew skills. For example, the majority of tanks I play, which a lot of you will notice, don't have the craziest crews. Like, if we make our way over to tier 10, some of my tanks only have 2 skilled crews. When I made my 62A video, that's all I got on my vehicle. T22 medium, I don't have repairs trained. My IS4, I only have 3 skilled crew. Some of my vehicles have more. I mean, if you look at like my 4005, it's got a 4 skilled crew. My Type 71's got a somewhat decent skilled crew. Some of my tanks are alright. But then you look at other ones, and the crew skills are absolutely non-existent. And grinding crew skills is one of the most painful things ever. But don't worry, for 2 million credits, you can buy crew skill books. Too bad earning 2 million credits is an absolutely painful experience. So once again, it's kind of pay to win. This is the BZ-166. It's a tier 8 Chinese heavy. And let's say I have just finished grinding this vehicle, and I want to swap my crew that I have been grinding with from the tier 7 to the now researched tier 9. Well, that's pretty easy. I just need to click on BZ-166 and swap that member, and this member, and then we just got to do it for 2 more, just like so. And completing this, you'll notice that my crew is no longer trained properly. So then I need to make my way to retrain, and I have to retrain each member either with 20,000 credits to 90%, or I need to spend 200 gold on each member to get them fully trained. Once again, this is just another credit or gold sink. And if you are planning on grinding lines, this is something that you're going to have to waste a lot of credits on unless you want to have a very poorly equipped crew. Then we arrive to field modifications. Now, if you are at a tier 9, a tier 8, a tier 7, you are going to have to research every single module on a vehicle before you can do field modifications. For example, the AMX 65 Ti I have here, the only way I can get field mods is if I purchase this 120mm that I don't even need on the vehicle. And then you have to spend more XP to upgrade the tank and credits. When you make your way to your tier 10, it's already elite, but you still need to unlock the field modifications. How much of a boost does it give you? Well, first of all, just getting the top field mod gives you much more HP. I go from 2,750 to 2,890. That alone is a pretty decent buff to HP and just about everything else. But not only that, these field mod gives you big buffs. You get 7% to maintaining speed when crossing terrain, or better suspension durability. You get aiming speed, or, well, obviously you want to go with the aiming circle size, but that's just a 3% buff to your accuracy, essentially. You've got stun duration or view range, so that's just a flat buff to your view range. These are massive buffs, and when you add all them together, again, they just give you an edge over anybody that's free to play that doesn't have the XP. You need 224,000 experience to get all the field mods unlocked, and you need 150,000 credits for every single one of these, apart from stage 1 and 3, which means you're going to be spending an additional 900,000 credits on this vehicle just to get all the field mods equipped. Again, just another XP dump and credit dump. Now, not everything is a big downside. This is the Renegade. It's a tier 8 American premium heavy. And this is a tank that's not only fantastic, but was available for absolutely free if you slaved away a bajillion battles and were pretty decent at the game. But still, it was an opportunity to get your hands on a free tank. And there are opportunities. If you watch somebody like Quickie Baby, he has a decent amount of vehicles on his free-to-play count, and a lot of them have been through grinding a lot. But at the end of the day, Quickie Baby still does worse on his free-to-play account than he does on his main account. And that's what I always personally wonder. How much skill some of the top players and content creators have on this game versus how much the equipment gives them an advantage over the average player. For example, I basically don't have any special equipment. The only vehicle that I have good equipment on is my Char MLE75, and that's because I really wanted to 3-mark this tank, so I had to run a try-hard loadout. But if you look at the majority of my tier 10s, every single one is running basic equipment. You're not going to see a single one with, apart from the Foch 155, just because I didn't know what to put the aiming device on. But for the most part, every single one of my tanks has the most basic equipment you can find that I've either spent credits on or been given for free when it comes to the experimental equipment. But if you look at somebody like Skill, just his video on the Type 68, a tier 9 that he's probably never going to play again, he has Bounty Hardening, he has Bounty Rammer, and Bounty Turbo on it. That alone right there is probably about a 6 to 7% boost over the average player. He doesn't even need to worry about field mods, really, because of the fact that that equipment all gives him buffs that you don't even need to worry about. And if you take a look at his crew, he's got, what, a 5 skilled crew on every single one of the slots, which is giving him much better efficiency there. The average player just isn't going to be able to achieve this. And even if you were to get a player that is equally as skilled as some of the best players in the game, if you gave them crews where they were only 2 skills or 3 skills, you didn't have premium account, you didn't have the equipment, I guarantee that the top players in the game would drop quite a bit, maybe 500-600 average damage. You don't realize how much of a difference it makes in your gameplay until you're not given these abilities. And it's pretty dang massive. I mean, I wasn't able to 3-mark my Char for a very long time until I managed to pick up Bounty Exhaust just a few weeks ago. And just that equipment alone gave me a huge advantage. It went from 6% camo boost to 9%. That is insane, because the thing is now I can have my commander's vision system in the scouting slot, which gives me a 5% boost to concealment of enemy vehicles behind foliage spotting, and it gives me a 2.5% boost to concealment of moving enemy vehicles. So not only does it give me a boost there on spotting opponents, but because I have the Bounty Exhaust, I can now mount it in a separate slot and not even have to worry about the boost at all. So it's just a massive advantage. At the end of the day, it's a very pay-to-win game, if you want my opinion. I think World of Tanks, while it does have some free-to-play aspects, is probably one of the most pay-to-win type games out there. If you are average at the game and you want to get better, one of the best ways to get better is to spend money, because you need to get the proper equipment, you need to get the proper ammo, and yes, obviously skill is very important. Being able to maneuver yourself in a proper position and knowing what to do is super important, and it can help you get there. But at the end of the day, if you want to reach the top 10%, the final echelon of players, you need to do things that you're not going to be able to afford, like directives. I've seen Kazju, he runs directives on basically every tank, and these are massive boosts. 2% concealment. If you're running rammer, it's a 2% DPM increase, plus the bond rammer he usually runs. I mean, that right there is a 14% increase in DPM versus the basic 10% it would normally give you. I mean, these are massive buffs. Just running natural cover, which you can see, look at how much it boosted my camo by. My concealment goes from 45 to 47. And that doesn't sound like a lot until you realize that if I'm going up against an opponent on Proc or Ravka or something and I need that little bit of distance to outspot them, that right there can do all the difference. It's just, I don't know. Like, the game doesn't seem that pay to win until you really break into it. The fact that you basically have to spam gold ammo if you want to cut through the majority of vehicles frontally. The fact that you need to run directives, you need to run the most expensive equipment. It costs money to demount equipment. The fact that crew training is one of the most irritating things. It's just when you combine everything together, this game is an absolute nightmare for free-to-play players. And trust me, I've played a lot of World of Tanks. I've played a lot of World of Tanks Blitz. My Blitz account has probably 80,000, maybe 90,000 games on it at this point. So I'm not a novice. It's just this game is very non-helpful to people joining it. And this is why the player count keeps going down and down on World of Tanks, where it's going up on games like Blitz. Because the game is so confusing and it's so punishing for new players to get into. The fact that you need to spend money, you need to know this, you need to know that, you need to participate in the battle pass, that the average player just gets lost and leaves the game. I can't blame them though. Like, this game is way too confusing for the average player. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Personally, I believe that World of Tanks is incredibly pay to win. A lot of people will say, oh, there's a little pay to win. I think that if you want to be really good at this game, which is the goal for most people at any game they play, you need to spend money. Not only do you need to spend money, but you need to spend a decent amount of money as well. You need to get the battle pass, you need to pay for premium, you need to get the best premium tanks, you need to be able to get the best crews. It's really unfair in my opinion. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.